Hello, hello. Welcome again to the Rabell Realty Group podcast. And there we were showing Sky's listing on. Sometimes we show our other agents' listings on here as well. So you can see all the listings we have out there. Today's August 9th, our second August Monday, right? Our second Monday in August, but our first real week. So I'm Kristen and Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca Johnson.
We've got a really great show today. We're going to have a very informative one with Kerry Ward from Darr Schackow talking about a new bill that passed. We'll revisit when John Darr was here and talking about insurance, roofing especially, and how insurance companies are pulling out of Florida and how this bill may help us if it actually fully passes. We'll get into that more. But we also have some new numbers in the Monday market moment.
That's right. Let's take a look. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening around Florida, or our areas of Florida today. We'll start with Gainesville, Alachua County. And so you have, in the month of August so far, 87 new listings. That's new active residential, so attached, detached residential homes, for a total of 564 listings.
Since January 1st.
Oh, since January 1st, yeah. Right. So those are just leftover inventory items that have not sold. 100 pending new listings pending in the month of August for Alachua County, Gainesville, for a total of 715 since the start of the year. And then 58 homes have closed so far, not bad for the first 9 days in, for a total of 2,954 since January 1st. And then if you jump down to Hillsborough County, Tampa Bay area, you've got 264 active residential properties for a total of 1,054.
So I do want to make a point. Yes. I did not do all of Hillsborough County this time. I just did Tampa.
Right. Just the Tampa Bay area. Then you've got 332 pending so far for the month of August for a total since the start of the year of 1,798. And then closed 179. Not too shabby. With a total of 8,416. So it's pretty impressive.
Going strong. Right?
Yep. Then over here in Ocala and Marion County, you've got 139 active listings since the start of the month.
93, but who's counting?
Oh, sorry. I don't know what I said. 1998. Sorry. I'm living back in the day. And then a total of 840 since the start of the year. Pending-wise, you have 208 with a total of 1,491. And then closed 149. Man, everybody's kind of kicking Gainesville's butt,
right?
Or Alachua County's butt. A little bigger areas, I guess, kind of. And then 5,998.
Well, before we got on, Kerry asked, why are Ocala's numbers so big? And one way that I set this up, hey, Tara, thanks for coming on. Happy Monday. Is Gainesville and Alachua County. Tampa is Tampa only. Ocala is all of Marion County also. And I think in the long run, Marion County is just a lot larger than Alachua County.
They're also seeing a lot of growth. They've got a lot of industry coming in. They've got an Amazon distribution center. They've got I think it's called Chewy, which is like the dog Amazon.
The dog.
Then they have the Golden Ocala Equestrian Center and all these other industries that are kind of coming in. And it's probably driving them to have more people.
It's just also more spread out. So when we look at numbers, when we're looking at residential, we're also looking at mobile homes on land. And so that comes up as well. And I think there's a lot more larger land parcels with houses as well. So you've got the little
let's go feel better about ourselves and look at St. Augustine.
Right. Now, we were always doing St. Augustine Beach area. And now I'm looking at, because we've had such great success with showcasing St. Augustine, that I've got quite a few buyers that we're working with at Rabell Realty Group buying in this area. So we decided to change the numbers from Volano Beach, which is just north of St. Augustine Beach, all the way down to the Crescent Beach and Summer Haven area. So these numbers reflect that. And check this out.
Yep. So you've got 75 active as of the month of August.
No, they don't allow you to do the differences. So this is just active.
Just active. So if you're looking, there's not a whole lot to see.
Nope.
11 pending, 58 total. for the year so far. 9 closings for the month, so they basically are one a day, for a total of 486 for the year so far.
Which is so low, but really things are selling in there. And what Rebecca and I have talked about, you've said you've talked to some people, things aren't even going on the market. They're just trading hands. And, companies are, we call it sort of pocket listings. They have someone that wants to sell and they just find all of their active buyers and they don't even have to put it on the market and it's sold. And sometimes, they just call whomever. And if they say no, they go into the next one and they have multitude of buyers waiting for it. So
very true.
Numbers.
Hot market. But that's your market for the week.
All right. Sounds good. Well, let's bring on Kerry then. Miss Kerry Ward, one of our preferred insurance agents, insurance agent extraordinaire. You have a little group on Facebook for realtors, that really want to know the industry and want to know about insurance. And so I always like your posts and keep me updated with, everything that's going on in the insurance world.
I'm glad you like it. That's the point, was just to add some information that maybe you don't realize or get to find out otherwise.
Right. So I feel like everybody knows you in our industry, but for those of them or us who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in insurance and sort of what your niche is in insurance.
Okay. So I've been in insurance. October will be 23 years. Wow. So a long time. Mm-hmm. I started at the Nationwide Regional Office on Williston Road in 1998 in claims. Okay. And then I've been on the agent's side of it since 2000. So a long time. I've been here at Darr Schackow since 2006, almost 15 years.
Okay, yeah.
So a long time. I primarily, and what I love to do, are people moving from out of state to come work at the college or the hospital.
Right.
So a lot of new closings, a lot of first-time home buyers we work with. Do a lot of home sales.
So you focus on home sales, on home insurance. Do you also do auto or anything else?
Yes, we do everything. Yeah.
But you
home usually comes personally, first, and we add everything.
Right. Okay, yeah. So you bundle it, you would say.
Yeah, we bundle it eventually. Most people, when they're buying a house, don't want to deal with anything else at that moment.
Of course. Yeah. So do you want to give us a backdrop of what we talked about with John before? John's one of the owners of the company. He came on and really talked about, and we don't have to play any blame game or anything, but just retouch everything he talked about with the roofing industry right now and how it affected Florida insurance companies removing themselves from insuring in Florida. Mm-hmm.
So history, to touch on what John probably talked about, is we had, for a couple of years, we've had roofing contractors, and not necessarily our roofing contractors here. Mm-hmm. We have great roofing companies here, but this has been more prevalent in other areas of the state.
So like Orlando,
Miami, Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. The main places.
They've gone in and they've just targeted neighborhoods where roofs have gotten to be that 15, 17, 18-year-old window where they need to be replaced. They're just old, wear, tear, maintenance. And they knock on doors and say, hey, you need a new roof and we'll help you get a free one from your insurance company. Homeowner doesn't know any better and goes, okay, great.
Saves me $20,000.
Saves me a lot of money.
Right.
I heard an underwriter give a scenario the other day. Like, it would be like asking your auto insurance company for new tires when they get old.
Right. Yep.
Insurance doesn't pay for that. But whenever you start threatening attorneys and third-party adjusters, insurance companies will just pay because it's cheaper than paying attorney fees.
Right.
So that's how we got where we are.
Okay.
So we're seeing rates this year anywhere 20 to 50% increases. Orlando areas, we've got 100 and something % increases.
So this is why, because I've heard a lot of people, even my own mom called me upset that her insurance had doubled.
And she's in Tampa.
She's outside in Hillsborough or Pasco County area. And she was upset. She's like, I don't understand. And she did get some of it dropped because they said she had a tile roof, but it's actually just metal that looks like a tile roof. And so they had just looked on Google or whatever. So she did get it down a little bit, but she was just horrified that the insurance had gone up. And then I know a couple people in other areas talking about how their insurance didn't quite double, but it definitely had jumped up significantly.
Right.
And now as Floridians, we always get a bad rap with insurance because we've got more storms, floods.
The wind blows a lot.
Right. Lots of wind blowing.
Yes.
Right. So we already struggle with keeping insurance companies here at a fair cost.
Yes.
or they would be somewhere else. So, but this just adds on even more because of the practices that these roofers and even attorneys were playing mainly between 2013 and 2017, but still continuously.
Right. And we had some of this same issue with water restoration as well.
Okay.
So you add in the plumbing end and the roofing
Yes,
end
right.
all
We've
at
talked
one
about that. The
time.
old plumbing, the 1990s infamous plumbing.
Yes.
The polybutylene.
Polybutylene,
Right?
some galvanized attorneys. You see the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
For
I've
those of
seen
us
them.
who still have cable, most don't, but I do.
Right. They're still out there.
Every
They're on YouTube
commercial is
also.
an attorney who is trying to sue an insurance company for something.
Yes.
And so that is what has gotten us into these large rate increases.
Okay.
So,
So House Bill 76
Yes, that's what we
is
came
very
on.
long. It's 44 pages.
Okay.
But the main key of it was to eliminate roofing contractors from soliciting door-to-door, door hangers type of things.
Which was what the main way that they were soliciting for these so-called free roofs
Right.
paid by the insurance companies.
Yes.
Okay.
However, a judge has ruled that to be unconstitutional.
And so I invited you
Back a
on
little bit.
before knowing that, which you just informed me of today, which kind of happened, this past week?
I heard about it the end of last week.
Okay, so yes. So
Yeah.
in between scheduling you to be
between
on
July
here,
1st and-
right, or August 1st and coming here, this has happened.
Yes. So I'm not sure what will become of that or what, I don't know what will happen with it.
So what it was going to do, though, is the main part of it, you're saying, is stopping this solicitation. But what the judge has ruled unconstitutional is stopping the free market, the free speech, right?
speech,
Freedom
free
of
of
speech,
advertising.
freedom of
Market, yeah.
And I get that. I mean, that's where law comes in. That can be twisted. Well, we don't want you to stop soliciting for business, but soliciting for this. So.
I got a postcard. I live in
Yeah.
a large Gainesville neighborhood. Well, not technically Gainesville, large Jonesville, Newberry neighborhood. And I got a postcard sometime after John came on, but like a couple weeks afterwards. And it was an outside of town roofing company. Or I had never heard of them. And I know there's like a million of them. And it was a nice postcard. And it said something like, free roofs, and it looked completely official though, and it was talking about how they can help you replace your roof at no cost to you.
Yes, there you go.
This is what the bill is supposed to stop.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I did notice a couple of my neighbors were getting new roofs.
Because they
Dang it.
called the number.
Probably. I knew what it was because it didn't say like free
Yeah.
roof, but it said no cost to you, get your roof replaced. But
But it
I imagine
does-
they hit the
It is
whole.
a huge cost
But
to
what
you.
they're not realizing is
Right.
that it's no cost to you directly, but it's a cost to all of
All
us
that's in the long run.
in the long run.
So there's a question here from Susan, which I think I know the answer, but I don't know if you can know the answer in a nutshell. How do you keep your insurance premium from going up?
Well, there's not a whole lot of ways to do that. If your roof is replaced after 2002, make sure you've done a wind mitigation inspection.
Perfect.
Those are the largest discounts you can possibly get.
Okay.
We're also reaching that time where we're now at 2021, so most roofs have been replaced since 2002.
Yes.
Alarm systems are usually a good discount, and then maybe even increase your deductible. You know, forever and
Right.
ever and ever, we've always done $1,000 deductible. I feel like with my book, with my clientele, most of us can absorb something higher than that. And it truly isn't in everyone's best interest to file small claims right now
Right,
anyway.
of course, yeah.
So look at increasing your deductible if it's in your budget. If it's not in your budget, don't do that. But if you go from $1,000 to $250 and it saves you $200 a year, a lot of people will go for that.
Okay.
But outside of that, there's not a whole lot you can do to a homeowner's
Well,
insurance policy.
Would it help? So you have an older house, 1960s, 1970s. It has not been upgraded from the galvanized plumbing, or you have a 1990s that was built with polybutylene. Is it best just to change out those pipes if you can afford it? Because it's not cheap. It's
No,
not
it's not
expensive,
cheap.
but it's not cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
It won't give you a discount on your insurance policy. It might open you up to other carriers that have a lower rate
So
or get you better water coverage.
So let's hold that conversation for a minute. We got to go to break. We'll go to break. Hi, Karen. We were
Karen.
talking about you earlier.
Yes, we're talking about your mom.
So we'll take the break and come back and we'll touch back on that.
Okay.
Right, perfect.
A unique pocket of the Gainesville residential community is the Duck Pond area,
located in northeast Gainesville, close in proximity to the bustling downtown area. Named for the retention pond that houses ducks and other water birds, the neighborhood is known as the Historical District of Gainesville. It displays many different types of residential architecture ranging from Victorian, Mediterranean, colonial, cottage style, and farmhouses. The Thomas Center and gardens within the Duck Pond neighborhood serve as a community cultural haven for art galleries, event space, history exhibits, and more. Not only is the Duck Pond a historic pillar in the Gainesville community, but it was also home to rock and roll legend Tom Petty. A stroll through the Duck Pond will make you feel as though you have stepped back in history to the late 1800s. Check out buysellrebell.com to find your Duck Pond home.
All right. Looked like we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's a great video of the duck pond from Short Media, and it is showcased on our YouTube video at Buy Sell Rebell. So please check it out. And if you have any questions about duck pond homes being available, call us or email us, and we'll get you a list and show them to you. All right. Let's get back with Kerry here. So talking about insurance, and you were saying changing up something older, which we were talking about pipes in general, but it could be your roof also, to something newer. It's not going to necessarily save you, but it can open you up to more insurance carriers.
Right.
So if you're opened up to more insurance carriers, how does that benefit you?
So having more market availability means you have some lower possible rates. You know, company A might charge you $1,000 for that house, but if you have polybutylene pipes, you only have options of companies Y and Z, and that rate's $2,000. So that's how.
So before all this roofing issues started coming up and they were pulling out, that's what we meant. Originally you had more carriers available, but as roofing policies in Florida alone got more expensive, those carriers, the options started decreasing. So maybe you had 20 carriers if your roof was 10 years old and more, right, or sooner, but now you have 15. And then you had a 15-year or older would be, 20, and you get down to 10 now. So, 5, because roofs can last 20 years if 20-year shingles, give or take, we have sun and rain, or 30 years, which 28 years if we have 30-year roofs. But now they're saying anything more than 10 or 15 years, you have less and less carriers available.
You do, and it's kind of unfair because they're grouping your old 3-tab shingle with architectural shingles. Some carriers are.
So again, for them to not know, 3-tab is about 20 years or less, and your architectural is 30 years or less.
Right, and the 3-tab is made a little bit different. It withholds the winds is a lot less that it can withstand than the architectural shingle. Right. I know they say they last 20 years, but they
not typically. We have a lot of rain and wind and sun here.
Yeah,
so,
and
right.
they just don't last that long. They have a lot of excessive granule
But
loss
right
and
now,
lifting.
the roofers are, before it was like more expensive to get the architectural longer shingles, but now it's like the same cost. So may as well go with the architectural shingles.
Yeah, and most do. I've not seen a new roof that's been not architectural shingle in at
many
least
years,
5 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think that
Agreed.
they're really using that product here.
Yeah, none of
But
that, right.
insurance companies are underwriting them the same.
Now, what about
Some
metal
companies,
roofs?
not all. So
Which could potentially last, what, they say 50 years, but are they also putting them in the
our
same?
2 big companies that went to 10 years and newer are all
Also-
10 years on metal. Now, other carriers
It
are still
feels so
going up
unfair.
to 20 or 25 years on metal, but it's definitely not 50 anymore like it used to be.
All right. So here's a question. As a realtor, what about metal? There we go. Karen got you the answer. I heard you asking that in my brain, right? But, all right, now I've got to get back to my question. Oh, we've got a question here. Saw a recent listing on Zillow, a description of a 50-year guaranteed roof. Is that really something?
It probably is. The roofing company probably guarantees that
it,
roof
yes,
for,
but not your
for
insurance
50
company.
years, but it does not guarantee that you'll have insurance on it for 50 years.
Yeah, that drives me crazy. I remember we worked a parade house and they put a 50-year roof on it. or maybe it was a 30-year. It was a shingle roof. I remember this, and you remember the neighborhood?
Harbor Greens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said it was a 30-year architectural shingle or whatever, or maybe it was a 50. It was some obscene number. We were like, there's no way. And, they showed us the warranty, but every insurance person was like,
No.
we don't count that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to self-insure, that's totally fine. I'm sure your roof will last 50 years.
Right.
It's just like alarm companies advertise 20% off your homeowner's insurance premium. Well, it's really only 20% off the fire portion of the premium, not the hurricane portion.
Right.
Because your alarm system isn't going to stop a hurricane from coming.
So,
So they just use big numbers.
yeah,
Big
and my
numbers.
old question
People
is already
big
like
numbers.
kind of flittered away. I'll try to come back to it. But are you saving anything with all of this new smart gear, or is it really just alarm system? Yeah.
Monitored alarm system to a fire department or
Okay.
like an ADT.
What about carbon dioxide? Nope. Well,
That's just smart. You should
Yeah.
have a car. If you have anything that's gas.
Everyone should have that, yes.
Yeah.
You should
Okay.
have that in general.
Okay. So here, this is kind of for like realtors on how to talk to buyers, because oftentimes a realtor will hear a buyer say, well, or a realtor to a realtor, well, this house is not insurable. How true is that? How, like, yes, there probably are houses that are insurable, but I think it's this common conception is that, oh, this roof is not insurable because it's 17 years old. And yes, that might be true, but that's not the fact because of the carriers available.
So I've become the queen of hard. Everyone comes to me if there's a hard risk, and it's very rare
Right.
that I ever say, no, it isn't insurable.
See,
So I don't think a realtor could say this isn't insurable, or
They do it
realtor
all
to
the
a
time.
client.
So
You need to
realtors who
call
pull
and
this-
ask an insurance
This is who you
agent
call. Mhm.
if it's
Gary, right here.
insurable. I've pulled off some things that people thought could never happen.
that
but
doesn't mean it's insurable for a
occasionally-
good cost. or
Right.
an
It
easy
doesn't mean you're gonna like
cost.
the
It's
rate.
just more expensive, but you can't pull the whole, that's not insurable.
Yeah, I can't think of a single property that we've ever.
Yeah, because she knew where this was coming from, probably, Duffy, is that, she hears this enough. What's not insurable.
Now, if it's dilapidated,
Yeah,
if there's a
that's-
hole in the
But
roof,
you could
then
still get
that's
some kind of
uninsurable.
coverage that will protect you from a
Usually.
slip or fall. Yeah,
Yes.
we've seen some pretty
Usually.
questionable properties, and I don't think I've ever, knock on wood, had one that was not insurable at all.
Yeah.
Usually someone can get it done somehow.
It's just at a
now, I
premium.
will say this year, I've said no more than I've said in 23 years.
Wow. Okay, so that's something.
But it's been, a handful of times.
Ooh, I've got a question. On investment properties, are you seeing where people, because I know a couple people who have told me their premiums have skyrocketed on their investment properties. So what's happening with that? Why? Why are you doing that to us, Kerry?
No, it's me. I make all of the rules. I wish I could. So investment properties, when it becomes a DP product, a dwelling fire product, the market availability is even smaller. So with a home, a primary owner occupied, when you've got that pot of 20, when it becomes an investment property, you have a pot of 5. If it's older,
Right.
if it's over 30, and most investment properties are.
Yeah. What if
so
it's a
older and hard.
1927 house
I was just
with
thinking about you.
with a 2006 metal roof and like 3 year all
Here's
the
a
plumbing
computer
have been
quote
done.
on the
All the
spot.
plumbing has been done. Is that super hard? I mean, it's I always think
I can
roof
do
and
it.
plumbing.
I can do it.
She blinked twice. That just means you might not like the premium.
Premium might be high. I may not be able to get replacement cost. Are they going to have a lender?
Nope, no lender.
Okay, so I can I can work with it even better if there's no lender, because sometimes the product won't offer replacement costs on the dwelling,
Right.
And mortgage companies won't take that. So if you have a cash
Yes, right,
buyer
right, right.
buying an older property, that's even easier
Okay.
or even more difficult. Than
I just,
the other.
there's all these cute little duck pond houses that are, from the early, 1900s or even 1800s, and you're like, how are you going to get this done? But if there's new plumbing, new electrical even, and newish roof.
Most of those
would
have
think.
some partial updates, and we can always do like a renovation type of policy until they can get in there and get it where it needs to be. But a lot of lenders don't take the reno policies. So
I can
So it's
honestly
all
say
about
I'm
the
never
lenders.
attracted
You
to
lenders, you can't do
updated
anything.
vintage homes. I always like the ones that have had nothing done.
nothing. All
You
the
know.
Yeah, because
obstacles.
there's always that idea of, oh, they did the windows wrong, or they didn't use the original style of this portion
I'm
of
not
the
a
house.
purist. I am only like the ones that need everything. It's just what I'm drawn to.
what I'm drawn
Could be a
to.
home from the 80s, could be a home from the early 2000s, could be a home
Is that
from the
'cause that's all
1900s.
the only houses you've ended up purchasing?
Even
Those
the
are cost
beach,
effective.
even the beach, everything was original. Had to replace it all.
All right. Our weather pattern changing, more flooding, more tornadoes locally. How is that changing rates, if at all?
Oh, that's a whole very long topic. They do change.
We can have a whole new podcast on that.
could have a whole new podcast. So everything that happens around the world affects our insurance rates here too. So fires in California, hurricanes that hit Texas, all of those impact our rates here.
Okay.
So yes, all of those weather things that you see will affect our rate.
So stop Mother Nature. Stop messing with us, okay?
Stop Mother Nature.
So we need all butterflies to stop flapping their wings and creating tsunamis.
We need this butterfly.
We need
I
Mother
know.
Nature to stop. We need
Isn't it if
roofs
they
to
flap
stop
their
getting
wings?
old.
Yep.
We need
Yeah.
all kinds of
We
things.
just need to pause where it is now.
Everybody
No.
stop.
So basically, life happens, Duffy, and that's just what it is.
I just think that every year insurance goes up, and it's just
Yeah.
a matter of how much does it go up.
Yeah, and who do we blame? But it's really just.
And I haven't seen rate increases like this.
Like this.
We had some
Well, I'm gonna
after
blame the roofers and the
2004,
attorneys this time.
2005, like in the 20% range. But since then,
But
it's
that was
leveled
after,
out.
at least for us in Florida, 2004 or 5, 6. We had in four hurricanes hit Florida. One of them was still a hurricane in Gainesville, which is very rare. That was a Category 1, and so I think that was probably a huge impact. We had just a really, what do they call it? Just a really active hurricane season that year.
We did.
And really affected us.
It's good times.
But like you said, nationally, it's just Florida gets affected even more when it, because it hits us more.
Yeah, we
than
didn't have a whole
hurricanes.
lot of things prior to then either. We didn't
Right.
have a whole
It was-
bunch of mudslides and fires in California. And
Right, right.
hurricanes only hit Florida during that time.
Guys, quit talking
Then
about
after
Mother
that-
Nature. She's gonna hear you.
Well, of
crazy
course you're going to say that, John. You know she's awesome. You hired her.
Of course. I hate seeing
Thanks for
things
being
go
on here,
up
John.
because it causes, realistically, the rate increase trickles down and obviously increases homeowners' payments, but it also increases renters' payments
Yeah.
on their
'Cause they have
properties
to afford it,
because
too.
they have to. The landlord has to cover that expense. Do you guys carry renters' insurance?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you advise a renter to get contents insurance to cover
Absolutely.
their? Okay.
Yes.
You hear that?
And do you have that?
Yes.
Okay,
She does.
perfect.
And it's
All right.
cheap. I mean, it's,
Yes.
Yes, you
$150 a
should
year.
pay out of
Oh,
pocket
man.
for 500, Susan. 5,000.
What
If
does
you can
she wanna
afford it,
pay?
paying out of pocket for an insurance, rather than putting in an insurance claim, 5,000. I would say if you can
That's
afford
Kristen's advice, not mine.
it, what would you say?
She's like, file the
Can't
claim.
really say.
You can't- you're
I
not allowed.
legally cannot discourage
can-
anybody from filing a claim.
Okay,
If you
well,
feel the need
if
to
you
file
can
a claim.
afford it,
Threshold.
don't do that. Well, everyone, thank you. Anise, you're back on. Hello, thank you. Everyone, Karen, thanks for being on here. We are going to have to wrap it up, but we always forget this. Anise, I forgot to ask you, but Kerry, what is your favorite thing about Gainesville? Either restaurant, thing to do, something that you absolutely love. Maybe your daughter's high school. Just kidding.
Well, that's a whole other topic. I really just love how friendly people are here. I grew up here. I left in 2000. I lived in Palm Beach County for 5 years.
So you have perspective.
And when I
Right.
came back, I realized just how truly, genuinely nice people are here.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. We still have our southern ways in some ways.
We do. It's
Yeah.
just nice
We
that
still
people
have
say
a
hi.
little
and
nice
wave.
southern charm here
Yeah.
in Gainesville.
We do.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
perfect. Well, thank you, Kerry. Do you have a number or any way that you want to reach out to you if anything? If not, we'll have it on our website and our Facebook page. We could put it up there as well.
Yeah, put it up there. The website is up there, darrschackowinsurance.com. And our phone number is 352-338-0552.
Nice.
You get that, Karen?
That's who you call. And we're not talking about all the Karens, just that one Karen.
Yeah, no, I'm not. This is not a blast.
We don't need the other Karens.
My mom's name is legitimately Karen.
All the Karens are
Yes.
gone.
Yes. No, all the Karens are going to start calling me.
All right. Well, let's go through our slides.
All right. If you're
Our
a renter
favorite
of K&R, we do encourage you to have your own tenant insurance. But if you are an owner of a property that you do not want to maintain or take care of, please feel free to reach out to us where we will help you manage. 352-213-6410.
All right. And if you're looking to get into real estate or change your real estate career or even just have general real estate, what do you do as a realtor questions, email us at join@buysellerbell.com.
All right. Want more information like today's show? You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Follow our our YouTube page, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Follow all of that, but like and subscribe on our YouTube page.
All right. Did you know Rabell Realty Group has a blog? We do. It's buysellrebell.com/blog.
Right on. All right. And if you have enjoyed this podcast and thinking about creating your own or being on your own, first come on here because it's really fun to hang out with us. Don't you agree, Kerry?
I agree.
It's great to hang out with us. So come on here, and then you can contact Elio at 352-327-5089, the Fiesta Media.
All right.
Thank you. We look forward to next week. And thank you again, Kerry. It's a great
You're
show.
welcome. Thank you for having me.
For sure. All right. See you in the next video.